Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Mayesh, maybe. Welcome. Thank you. Super supporter. Appreciate that, my friend. Chef, 18 months. What's going on, Chef? Appreciate that, man. It's been a while. Thanks for all the support. Morning, everyone. All the familiar faces. Margin, Brian, Ponzi. all the supporters. Appreciate you guys. Byron, see you a lot here. You know who you are. You know I see you. Morning, guys. Welcome back. Anna, Hamster, Crypto Commando, Susan, Abel. What's going on, guys? Back's back's fine. It was muscle. It's gone. So, just a little bit, maybe just a little bit of a pinched. I don't know, something messed me up. Something messed me up. SOUN, yeah, we talked about SOUN. We talked about it down here. We talked about it back in the 4s. So hey, I mean, I don't have the confidence in this kind of stock to just hold it since 4. But man, if I did, that'd be pretty nice. We were talking about that one. We were talking about RXRX down at what, like actually no, it's not this. No, it's what is that other one? What's the other one? There's another one that's associated with SOUN, but yeah, nice. I'm not in it, but we were talking about it at 4. Definitely a nice little squeezer. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Pat, I'm hitting the gym around like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. It's usually when I like to go. Good morning. So big economic day. Big economic day today, guys. A lot of stuff. Going on. A lot of economic data to be aware of this morning. Could definitely see some volatility in the pre-market. That sort of changes the picture. So we shall see. Quick heads up. I'll give you another heads up tomorrow or later at the end of the stream. But I don't think we will have a live stream tomorrow, my friends. I think Friday. I'm going to a New York Rangers game versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is today, staying overnight in Tampa. So unfortunately, I think not unfortunately, I think it's a good Friday to take off. So I'll be in the community. I'll be in the Discord with you guys that are in the chat. I'll be there, talking to you guys, and possibly doing some trading, but. Yeah, I think no live stream unless I let's keep it tentative for now. Unless I feel like doing something on the mobile setup, which maybe I do. So we'll keep it tentative. Keep on the lookout. I'll update you guys on the socials, on X or on Instagram if you want to follow me there. So should, possibly, it's staying at a pretty nice hotel, so the JW Marriott is right next to Amalie Arena. So I'm sure they have enough Wi-Fi there, I would hope, at a JW Marriott to run a live stream. So we'll keep it tentative, but I just wanted to let you know it will not be from the crib, from the stew, from the office tomorrow if we do have a live stream. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. You're in Tampa this week? Nice. We have the rocket launch today from SpaceX. Saw that. Morning. All right. 8:05. Let's get it started. So yesterday, a little bit of weakness on the NASDAQ and very strong on the ES, right? So we've seen a little bit of a flip on the futures. NASDAQ ES, definitely weaker on the NASDAQ side. I think this because of a little bit of semiconductor weakness, just a little bit. Nothing crazy on the semis, but you saw a little bit of underperformance on stocks like AMD, like Nvidia. A little bit of semiconductor weakness there yesterday. causing a little bit of a NASDAQ underperformance, while the ES held pretty much all day, held higher, and pretty much is testing all-time highs here this morning. So just something to sort of be aware of there. Obviously, I think a lot of things are potentially about to be shaken up here in the pre-market, so we'll have to reassess after that. Let's go to the economic calendar. You guys can see today we have multiple things to be watching out for. We have PPI, we have retail sales, and we have unemployment claims. So a lot of stuff here, right? All at 8:30. Core PPI, retail sales, unemployment claims, all things to be paying attention to. So let's see how this affects the market at 8:30. We'll see how it changes the picture here over the next 24 minutes. This is going to be the first thing to watch today. Tomorrow, pretty light, I'd say. Manufacturing index, consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. But today, I think, is the big kahuna. So let's watch out for that today. Earnings calendar, not too much. I think we have Ulta and Ulta and Adobe today after hours. So, I mean, I'm not interested in trading those. So you could watch those, Ulta and Adobe, after hours today. Just to keep a heads up on that. All right. Let's do the technicals. Let's get into the futures, the ES, the NQ, everything. And then we'll obviously reassess it all at 8:30, sort of watch the live action at 8:30, and then we will get into some stocks. All right. Let's do it. So yesterday, we came off this 18.5 level pretty much all day. That was where the rejection set in. We had these previous lows right here, one there, right there. We had 18.5, previous hold level that we tried to maintain before that big flush on Friday of last week. So that 18.5 was a previous level that tried to maintain. And when we traded back into it yesterday, you can see it caused that reaction. All right, so that 18.5 is now our level to break. Right, 18.5 is now our level to break. We need to be over 18.5 for confidence that this market on the NASDAQ wants to move higher. All right, because this move here today could move into 18.5 again and could reject again and create another high. So this is where we need to be up above for me to feel confident that the NASDAQ futures want to move higher. It is difficult to be longing today right into that 18.5. Right, that is a difficult spot to be longing into. That is these previous lows, and that is the very clear rejection point that stepped in yesterday in the pre-market, causing a little bit of downside. The other level that reacted yesterday was our 18.4, our 18.400 level, right? We saw this was our previous highs, previous low right here. After we broke under that 18.4 yesterday, we traded back into it, and that was a beautiful midday drop off that level, right here. Look at this midday sort of failure to get above 18.4 and a very nice short side opportunity there on the 18.4 level. This was a really clear setup yesterday on the intraday, and I know some of you guys in the chat caught this. We were talking about that 18.4 being a tough level to get above, and there was definitely a little short side, sort of late day short side setup there off that 18.4. Today, we're sort of back battling this level. So it looks like to me this 18.4 is sort of that line in the sand. You guys can see right here, highs, lows, highs, and yesterday rejection, and now we're just sitting right on it. So I think this 18.4 is going to be a pretty important level here today. Do we hold it? If we do, we'll probably push that 18.5. If we turn 18.4 into rejections again, I think that leads to some further weakness. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem on the weakness, right? If you're looking for downside, you are still above that 20 SMA, which just continues and continues and continues to sort of maintain this market higher. So I would be very cautious today. If you see some rejection today off 18.4, I would be very cautious getting short near this blue line. Okay, this blue area, this blue line, this daily 20 has been a sort of thorn in the side of people looking for downside, right? Every time you get near this area, the market just sort of maintains that level. So be careful shorting towards this 20 SMA today. This needs to be on watch. If you do see some downside today, right, and you're sort of moving lower, you have to be careful of that knee-jerk reaction off that daily 20 again. It's very possible and something you need to be paying attention to, okay? 18.4 looks to be the decision level as of now. Let's see how the market reacts off this 18.4 into this economic data. I think you'll probably just sort of maintain here until that data comes out. And then the 18.5 is the level to break above. If you get above that 18.5 today, that's where I think you can really set up that long on a hold over the previous day high. If you get that, you probably push into the highs here if you can get a hold over 18.5. So 18.4, big decision level this morning. 18.5, very clear supply above. And then the downside demand, well, the real downside demand is down at 18.150. But I would assume that we just sort of stick at this daily 20 if we do move lower today, right? I would be just monitoring where that daily 20 is. The daily 20, if you want to put the stair steps, it's right here, right? You got to change it to this style of draw as, and you have to change it to this style so that every day you get a nice little idea of where that daily 20 is. As of now, you can see it is moving higher, and it continues to move higher with the market, and it's maintaining the market higher. It's sort of that floor that is just maintaining us on the upside. Like I said yesterday, it is not until that daily 20 breaks, in my opinion, right, until you get that real downside move. You can see it just sort of is that floor that keeps this market higher. Few days of some, drama below it here and there, but overall, it looks like that market wants to continue to maintain above that moving average. All right, so that's what I have for now. We're going to have to see at 8:30. That's really going to be the move that gives us that insight. But 18.4 for now looks to be sort of that middle of the seesaw, middle of the channel level that needs to be watched. QQQ, that level is 442. We talked about 442 yesterday. We talked about the 444 to 442, right? This was our zone yesterday. We said watch out for 444 supply. That is exactly where we rejected. We said watch out for 442 demand. After we broke 442 yesterday, you guys probably saw my trade yesterday on the QQQ. If I go to the 2-minute chart, early morning yesterday, we had a failure under 442 right here. This was our QQQ put trade yesterday. We got under that 442. We turned 442 into rejections, and that led to further downside. Later in the day, look at what happened at 442. We moved higher, back into that supply, and we had that rejection of that level. So 442 is definitely an important QQQ level. And this morning, look what it's possibly doing. All right, this morning, you are back above it, and you are potentially holding above it. Okay, so this is very important today. If we're above 442, you have to be careful on the short side. The 442 could maintain this QQQ higher, turn that previous rejection yesterday into support, and sort of push this thing back towards that 444. Right? If we go to the 30-minute chart, we can see 442, middle of the seesaw, right, sort of in the smack dab in the middle of this channel. Let's see if that holds today. If we fail 442, we move back to the 440, and we move back towards that daily 20. If we push higher off 442 today, you want to see a break above 444. That's where you get confident that upside will continue. A break above 444, a hold above 444 today gives you that confirmation that the NASDAQ or the QQQ is holding back above these highs, it's holding back above these lows, and that is where you can potentially set up that long entry with confidence above 444. If you trade long into 444, you have to be careful of the rejection. If you trade the market long today before it is above 444, you better be aware that there is potential rejections at that level. Okay? So 444, 442, 440 demand down below. Very clear there on the QQQ. Yesterday, a very nice hold of that 440. ES. You can see the ES didn't really even skip a beat yesterday. There was a little bit of drama sort of midday, just this random sort of drop candle under that 52.35, but look at how quickly it got back above, right? End of day, you got that drama candle, but we quickly got right back above, and I think this level is still very much intact on the ES. So if we go to the ES on the 30-minute, overall, this 52.35 level held very strong yesterday. Very strong, right? You can see it just sort of maintained above it and is creating a little bit of upside this morning. So I would say the ES, as long as it's over this 52.35, I would say this thing wants to move higher. If you pull back to this level today, look for that hold again. That was very strong hold yesterday. This was this previous high, previous high, previous high, and pretty much an all-day hold yesterday above this level. Really, the only level left right now is the all-time highs. 52.56, right up in there, right? You can see we're pushing right into it today, and you're seeing a little bit of reaction, a little bit of rejection as we push into that high. If you get above this high today, I think that's your confirmation for more upside. If you just see a nice squeeze above the previous all-time high, then you're probably going to get that continuation move. Right? If you see this level right here turn into new lows intraday today, that's probably your confirmation for that upside move. Okay? So 52.56, 52.55, whatever you want to call it, the exact high is 52.56.5. That's exactly the high that you should be watching today. If you pull back today, you're watching the 52.35 level. If you fall under that, it looks like you had, sort of that support around 52.20 right in here. But I'm going to keep that off my charts. I don't want a long. If we get under 52.35, I personally don't want a long until 52.10. I think 52.10 is a much better demand level to long off of. The reason I say that is because I just see more reactions at this level. 52.10, 52.10, 52.10, 52.10, 52.10, and on Tuesday of this week, 52.10, causing that upside reaction. So if we do pull back today, right, if we do see reactions to the downside off this supply high, we fall under the 35, I would only look to long personally right here at 52.10, see if that is a reversal level, see if that is a demand hold and a potential new long at the 52.10. If you break under 52.10, you're coming down into the 51.80 right here, 51.80, and that 20 SMA will probably be around that 51.80 if you move back down into it. Okay? Pretty clear levels on the ES. Very strong outperformance on the ES. You can see the difference here. ES is at the all-time highs. The NASDAQ is still a little bit off, right? The NASDAQ is just about 1% off. So about a 1% outperformance on the ES as of now. I think that is mostly due to some of this semiconductor weakness that stepped in yesterday on AMD, on Nvidia, right? You saw some of that weakness step in on some of those semiconductor stocks. ES, 52.56, 52.35, 52.10. This is really the pullback level that I would want to see for that pullback long. All right. Let's go to the SPY. SPY, you can see 514, 514, 514, 514, and we got pretty close to that 514 yesterday before finding some very strong bounce back to the upside. So that 514 level holding very strong on the SPY still. Even below that, you have 512, some very strong levels that continue to hold here on the ES. Yesterday, pretty much we held 516. We had that little drama candle under it, but quickly got bought back above. It's that 516 that's sort of been holding this ES higher yesterday. Today, we're pretty much just flirting with the all-time highs. All-time high, right around this 518 level. If you get a hold over this 518 today, that's your sort of trigger for more upside. Right? If you see us, hey, SPY's holding above 518, really strong, that is a potential reason to try longs above that hold, on that hold above the all-time highs. So 518, that's our clear high to be watching today. If we get a pullback, I say we watch this 516 and then we watch this 514 down here. How to get these levels? Learn how to chart levels. This is not some kind of automated thing, guys. You got to watch the live streams and see why I'm posting these levels. I talk 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you can see it on the charts. Just find it on the charts. 514, 516. 516 it's sort of just this level here. A little bit of a hold from that previous high there, but you definitely saw the reactions at 516 yesterday. So definitely going to have that on my charts. Definitely going to have the 514 on my charts, and then very clearly the 518 all-time highs to be watching out for. All right. That is that. Obviously, I'm just sort of going quick through these because we're going to have to reassess these in about 9 minutes when the economic data is released. Russell, really not much yesterday. Still below this major supply high. You guys can see right there. Still holding above that daily 20. Just really not doing a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. You can see this week on Tuesday, very strong 20 SMA hold, holding back above the 2090, right? Holding back above this demand at 2090. So the Russell, just be careful. I would just say be careful shorting the Russell into these levels here. I think this is a very strong area on the Russell. Anywhere around that 2090 and that daily 20 is definitely not an area that I would want to be getting short into, right? I don't really want to be short the Russell into these lows that have been holding. Dow Jones, Daniel Jones, the Lord and Savior Daniel Jones for the New York Giants. Man, I'm not excited about next year on football. Really nice hold on the Dow. Really nice hold on the Dow, right? Look at this. Hold, hold, hold. And look at this hold at 38.8, 38.9, 50 SMA. Just a floor that has been built on the Dow Jones here around this 38.9. And you can see just a really strong consolidation, a push to the upside. Highs around the 39.790. That's our sort of all-time high there, right? So we're pushing right back into it. Do we want to be entering longs on the Dow right at all-time highs? No. We want to see a hold above that level for that confirmation. Okay? How do you put the daily 20 on your charts? Go to TOS Studies, type in daily SMA, press it, and then put the time period to the 20. All right. Well, we got some time to kill, so I guess we can get into some stocks before the economic data. But pretty much a decision day here. I think this economic data is what we need to wait for before we get a true read here on the market today. You can see that ES high sort of just we're getting stuck right under it. That SPY high getting stuck right under it. So this is going to be a big level on the SPY this morning. How does the market react to the data here? Do we get the drop off this high, or do we get that hold above? They're launching the heavy right now. Is it right now? Let me see.
Realize eating well doesn't have to be boring. Expand your definition of healthy living. Visit blueapron.com to learn.
No thanks. How can you unsubscribe from the technicals on Discord? Wherever you signed up, there's most likely a place to unsubscribe. But if you want to shoot me an email, you can. All right, let's kill some time with Tesla, because we got like 5 minutes to kill here before that data is released. Tesla, yesterday, that 175 level was a clear giveaway yesterday, right? Yesterday we were talking about how Tesla was stuck under the 175 early morning, right here. This was yesterday morning under 175. Yesterday, what did we get? We got the pop and fade, right? We love the pop and fade on Tesla. We got yesterday morning. We got the early morning pop. That's not yesterday. Let's go to yesterday, right here. yesterday morning. This was open, pop, rejection, right? Failed to get back above. After we failed to get back above that 175, it was downhill from there. So that 175 fade was beautiful yesterday. We are at pretty much the long-term target on Tesla. Man, we are at the 165. Pretty much. Give or take a few dollars, but 165 is going to be pretty major here. If we go back to we got to go all the way back to, this is 165 here. This is back in May of 2023. You can see 165. You can see all right here in May as well. We had 165 rejections, 165. And look at this right here. This is back in March of 2023, 165. So this 165 is definitely a level that I would be taking profits on the short side. Right, so I am definitely going to sell the remaining of my Tesla position today. I have 5 Tesla puts overnight. Those should open pretty nicely as long as Tesla can sort of stick around here into open. But I would be very careful getting too aggressive on the short side into this 165, right? You need a bounce. You need a bounce, and you need to look for another fade before re-entering Tesla shorts, in my opinion. I would not want to be too exposed to the short side into this 165. The trade is likely over for now. I mean, this is a beautiful short side all day yesterday. And if you're holding shorts in the open, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of profit taking on the put side, on the short side here early morning, which is going to create that pop, right? That sort of pop on Tesla that we can look to fade into if we start seeing weakness again. Now, the other thing that could happen today on Tesla, which Tesla likes to do at times, is that morning drop, right? We could see a morning very aggressive drop into this 165, get the shorts to pile in again, that chase it, right, into that 165, and then that squeeze back higher. That is very possibly, what could happen this morning on Tesla. You get that quick aggressive drop right off the open. You get some, horned up bears shorting it into 165, and then that 165 level just sort of holds strong and creates a squeeze, killing everyone that was short under that 165. That's, I think, a little bit more likely what you're going to see today. So I would not fall for the trap into a quick drop into 165. Be careful shorting into a hole. This is shorting into a hole here, in my opinion. Do not short at 165. Be very careful down here. Major, major level. Daily chart, weekly chart, big time level at 165. So don't short into that hole. Don't get trapped into shorts at 165. I think the only way you'd want to short Tesla is a pop, right? You short Tesla on pops. You do not short Tesla at lows. Every pop has become a short opportunity. Every pop has become a short opportunity. Let it pop, right? And then look to fade it. So where would you want to see Tesla move higher into to get a good short entry, in my opinion? You want Tesla to pop into this 172, this low right here, or this 175, right? You want Tesla to pop back higher, look to see if it fades 172, or look to see if it fades 175. That is where you want to try to get that short entry. You do not short into a low, okay? Very dangerous to short Tesla into a low. No matter how weak it is, you get those quick knee-jerk reactions off these levels, which can be destructive on options contracts. Even if it moves lower, right? Even if it continues lower after the pop, if you are in too low and it pops against you, that is certain death. So be careful of that 165. Look for maybe a move into 172 today. Look for a move into 175 to get a better entry on your short side position. If you haven't learned yet and you still are looking to long Tesla, you could try it at 165. I would not have anything to do with longs on Tesla. It's still just not, in my opinion, a stock that is ready to be longed. All right, we got economic data coming out here. So we can see this little knee-jerk reaction off this supply on the SPY. Let's see if it holds. It looks like it's not holding. Looks like it might pop back higher here. Retail sales, 0.6 versus 0.8. So a little bit weak on the retail sales. PPI points. Oh, big increase in PPI there. Almost double PPI. That's month over month doubled on the PPI. That's a little bit bearish there, I'd say. Core PPI 0.3 versus 0.2. But almost double the forecast on the PPI month over month, which is, I think this is why you're seeing this downside move right now. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm assuming it's the PPI number that's causing a little bit of drama right now. Core retail sales lower versus expectations. So retail sales lower than expectations, and PPI double the expectations. 0.6 versus 0.3 estimation. So a little bit of drama there because of this economic data. Did we get the unemployment claims yet? Yeah, jobless claims 209 versus 218. All right. Yeah, a little bit of drama off that supply high that we had. ES, you can see right off our supply highs on the ES. Right off our 52, 56. NASDAQ. NASDAQ under 18.4. NASDAQ back under 18.4. QQQ back under 442 and moving lower pretty aggressively. I would say you are now watching do I like this 440 level? Let me just do this sort of live with you guys. I don't know if I like this 440 level. The reason I don't like 440 is because it's too close to 439, right? This is what I do personally, guys, for myself. So this is what, I'll give you a little insight into my mind here. If I have a level at 440 and then 439, right? You can see right there. While they are both important levels, I prefer to be very cautious, right? And so what I do to be very cautious is I just leave 439. Because 439, if I short under 440 and then I forget about 439, right, that could be a very dangerous thing for me. If I short under 440 and sort of forget about 439, right, it could be a little, hey, 440 rejection, let's short it, and then hold on a second, 439 just held, right? So what I like to do there is just have the extreme level on my chart. So I definitely know where that major level is. I think 439 is a little bit more important here than the 440. And why is this overlap volume? Why did that come off? So I think 439 here on the Qs is a little bit more important. You can see 439, 439, 439 right here, 439 here, 439 here. I think 439 is the level you want on your charts. So I'm going to keep 439 there on the charts. You can see the QQQ, while it did reject here, it's sort of getting bid back up already. So really not really that big of a move yet. NASDAQ is under the 18.4. But man, is it a little sweaty here, right? It's a little bit sweaty in my eyes to be shorting as you get into some of these. Look at these. Like, this is what scares me on the short side. Look at the wicks this entire week on the downside moves. This is what scares me a little bit on the short side, right? This is QQQ or NASDAQ futures yesterday. You can see those very aggressive wicks as you move lower, pushing us higher. On Tuesday, same thing, right? Very aggressive wicks on the move lower, pushing us back higher. So it gets a little bit sweaty, right? Because if you sort of short here and these wicks start coming in, can be sort of nasty against you. So just be aware of that, okay? Be just slightly aware of that as you sort of move lower. If you do see some downside today, just understand that your life is your lifespan on the shorts is probably not very long unless you really get some very, very clear give up action today, which is going to be up to you to sort of read price action. I can't predict that here in the pre-market. But just be aware, if you start seeing these wicks stepping up again, guys, do not overstay your welcome on the put side because it is still just sort of a wick fest on every drop, and it could get very sweaty on downside. Just it's I'm just reading what's on the charts, and that is definitely what you've seen on the downside moves pretty much over the last 2 weeks. Every downside move, you get these wicks that really hold this market up. Okay. Just make sure you know that is a characteristic of what's been going on. And the other thing to notice here on the ES is, yeah, we rejected this high, but we are still above the 52.35, okay? Do not short into the 52.35 today. Be very careful entering shorts at this 52.35 level. That is definitely still a level that is holding this morning. SPY, most likely, and sure is, still above that 516, right? So sure, you're getting that little reaction to the downside today, but you are still above that 516, which could still be this hold and sort of fake out move, okay? There's nothing stopping the market from getting people short into 516, holding the previous day high, previous day low, and wicking this thing back higher. That is definitely a possibility and something you have to be paying attention to. So while the ES is definitely rejecting the all-time high, while there is a bearish reaction to this data, you definitely need to still be aware of the previous day lows on the ES. Okay? Very important there. Very important. I think that ES level at 52.35 is the level to be watching. The SPY level at 516 is the level to be watching. All right. Let's get into Nvidia. So I am still in my Nvidia puts. I'll actually just pull up my portfolio. Why not? Here it is. Here's my portfolio. Here's what I hold today, guys. This is what's in my portfolio as of right now. I have the 5 Tesla puts. I have 2 Nvidia puts. And I have 1 left of the AMD puts. So I'm still holding some put side on AMD, Nvidia, and Tesla. And so the reason I'm... don't really have a very strong reason as to, I mean, I do and I don't. You guys heard me talk about yesterday, right? That if there's either 2 things that's happening here on Nvidia, right? One is that you are creating a lower high, okay? You are creating a lower high, and this is potentially a short-term top on Nvidia. That was option 1. It's the fact that Nvidia tried to push back higher, did not make a new high, and seems to be sort of failing here. If you do get this Nvidia drop, I definitely want to have something in my portfolio, something that I just don't care about. And so you guys can see it's 1 contract, right? 1 contract of the 845s, 1 contract of the 850s, something that I just simply do not lose sleep over. That's what my game plan is here. No sleep lost with the size that I'm in Nvidia puts, because I know, I'm not an idiot, I know Nvidia can absolutely do the Nvidia type move and do something special back to the upside, right? We all know that. It's all looming. We know Nvidia has been a monster, and it's very possible that Nvidia just sort of holds and rips again at any point here in the future. But I want to be a part of any kind of drastic drop that may come in, as Nvidia maybe is losing a little bit of steam up here. So here's what I would be watching on Nvidia today. I think that this rejection here at 912 is actually very telling. I think this is very important. 912, you can see Tuesday we rejected 912. Yesterday, after we got below it, we had a very quick downside move. And after pushing back up into it yesterday, look at the rejections at 912. So I would say if Nvidia is under this 912 level, it's going to stay weak, right? I don't think Nvidia is very strong below this level. I think this is a very important sort of fail and rejection, right? Retest rejection that's setting up right here. So 912 is definitely a level to watch here. To the downside, we are still maintaining the 885. So here's your channel here today, right? You can see right there, 885 to 912. Do not short Nvidia at 885, please. Okay, do not short into a hole at 885. This could absolutely hold again. If you break under 885 today, I think you could get a little bit of drama. If you get this level right here, this level right here, this level right here to sort of turn into a rejection today, this could be a little drama filled, right? Back towards that 850. This area, this is just a channel here. So if you fail back under this channel high, if you fail back under that 885 today, you could just sort of trade back to the channel low. And the channel low is 850. And that is why I took 850 puts. Because if Nvidia does this drastic drop under 885, and I'm risking a very small amount, if these puts go in the money, right, that's a very large percentage point gain, and I'm sort of chilling. It's a win-win for me. I don't have too much size, very comfortable if I lose the full amount. If we get the drastic drop that maybe I'm looking for here, my contracts go in the money or very close to the money and could be a very large percentage point gain. So that's sort of why I set that up yesterday. But you can see Nvidia still battling at the 885 demand. Do not open new short positions at 885. This is a very clear demand that held all day yesterday, and it could hold today on the drop. So 885 demand, very important today. But in my opinion, I would only look to long Nvidia back above 912. This is where I'd only look to long Nvidia. Back above these highs, back above this high, I would want to see Nvidia over that 912 to feel confident that I can look for a long entry. So 912, 885, that's your channel today. Watch that channel very closely. AMD, I mean, we nailed AMD. I'm not gonna BS it. We nailed AMD, man. So congratulations on AMD, guys. If you guys took that short back on Tuesday, that 205 rejection, that yesterday drop was beautiful. And this 196 level right here was beautiful yesterday on a rejection as well. 196, we failed to get above that previous low. We failed to get above these previous lows, and we are failing back under it again. AMD is getting close, however, and I'm going to be taking profits on these AMD puts. AMD is getting close to the daily 20. It's getting close to the daily 20. And the daily 20 is, all right, I'm not losing sight of AMD. The longer-term picture on AMD is still a very interesting upside entry point, okay? This is still a very interesting upside entry point on AMD, all right? This is a previous high. This is a previous double top high, and the daily 20 is sort of right underneath us. If AMD sort of retraces back to the 20, retraces maybe back to 184, 185, this is a very, very interesting long entry. So do not get too wrapped up in the AMD downside. All right, this is definitely still a potential long entry on AMD, and something I will absolutely be watching here. So big time watch on AMD. You can see the big squeeze, the pullback, which is warranted, and you can see we are coming back down to that 184, 185 level, which could result in a long entry. Right, this could still be a sort of pullback long entry that we should be watching. Okay. So be aware of that. Tesla. Guys, why are we freaking out about Tesla? Tesla has not even gotten over 172. We are still trading, it seems, on the 30-second chart. We are all still trading on the 30-second chart still. This is how we have our charts. Holy shit. Tesla, where did it go? What's going on in my charts? Guys, let's zoom out a little bit. And let's remember what we just talked about 10 minutes ago. Pops are still potential fades on Tesla until it breaks over key levels. Okay? Until it breaks over key levels. Tesla is still $5 under a major low, right? Look at this, 175, 175. We are still under a major low. And this pop right now is actually exactly what I would believe shorts want to see, right? This is exactly what the shorts want to see because it gets people like you guys, and I'm not calling anyone out, but this is just how trading works. It's the brutal truth. This move right here gets people all horned up about, oh, I'm going to long Tesla today. Oh my God, I'm longing Tesla today. And then it sort of squeezes, right? You get that squeeze, everyone starts longing it right back into the supplies, and then you bam, and then bam, rejection once again. Okay? Please do not get wrapped up in a 1 minute candle on Tesla. Please understand you are trading off key levels. So, this is actually exactly what I'd like to see on Tesla. What did we say? Don't short Tesla into a hole. This is exactly what you want to see if you want to short, right? So, let's see, right? If this thing squeezes today, I would be more than happy to watch this come back into that 175 or come back into this little 172 area, into this low, and look to see if that turns into a rejection point, right? That's really where I'm focused on. I'm not going to be looking to long this move. I will be looking to let it move higher, watch the price action, and see where that weakness steps in again. So I would watch this low here. I would watch this low right here. I would watch to see if we have a move into these levels and see if that fade does step back in. Okay? Now, there is some finesse to this type of trade, right? We're not just instantly shorting something as it pushes into these levels. We're not just, oh, Tesla's at 172, I'm short, right? No. You got to see you got to wait a little bit. You got to see some of this, right? You got to see a little bit of this, a little bit of failure, a little bit of candle rejections, a little bit of wick action, right? 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of some failure at that level. We are not just instantly shorting as it hits that level. All right, we are waiting for clear reactions, right, at that level to give us that confirmation that says, hey, Tesla looks like it might be rejecting here slightly. Price action starting to get a little weak at this level. Let me go ahead and look to target it. All right. So if Tesla pushes into 172 today, you possibly could see some rejections there. I would be more confident in re-entering shorts at 175. All right. So I don't think I'll short the 172 today. I think it's a little bit too minor of a level to be shorting off the 165. I would personally wait for us to push back up into 175, which is definitely where Tesla could sort of squeeze up into today. It's very possible. Okay? So 175, that's my big level to watch today on Tesla. AMD, we talked about it. I would no longer short AMD. I am looking to pretty much exit all of my puts this morning, right? I'm not going to be interested in shorting into a hole on some of these stocks. So AMD is pretty much done for me. I only have one contract left, so whatever it does, I really don't care. But I would not short AMD as it approaches this daily 20. If AMD pushes back into 196 today, you could look for that retest short, right, back at these levels here. But a little bit too close to that daily 20 for me to get interested. At this point, I think it's just observing AMD, seeing if it holds the 20, seeing if it starts to build something around this daily 20, around this 184. If you stay under 196, though, it stays weak, okay? Microsoft. Man, is this one getting interesting. We talked about this one yesterday. We talked about the hold over 416. I would be watching today if Microsoft can hold above this 416. If Microsoft holds above this 416 and the market stays strong, I still think that this is sort of creeping for another leg higher. Weekly chart shows a lot of confirmation of that. Weekly chart consolidation here, right? We talked about how Microsoft consolidates and legs higher, consolidates and possibly legs higher. So this is very interesting on Microsoft here. It's been remaining very strong. I would just be careful. The only thing I'd be careful of is the highs at 421, okay? A little bit of caution if you do look for that long on Microsoft for that next leg higher. A little bit of caution at the 421. You probably want to see Microsoft hold above that high to get that really strong confirmation that this is legging higher for another big move. So 421, please be aware of that if you do long Microsoft. But 416, the hold over that 416 is pretty nice right now. That's where you want to see Microsoft stay above. Amazon, another one that's been maintaining very nicely, but Amazon is starting to move into this supply high. I don't love that, and I would be very careful longing Amazon into this supply high, right? Amazon into that supply high is a little dangerous, right? You can see right there, that 178, 179, you can see rejections, and you're pushing back into it again. So I would be very careful now longing Amazon into this triple top high potential. I would want to see if Amazon can hold over 176, right? 176 is where I'd like to see Amazon try to maintain to make me believe that it's actually gaining strength here. If you can pull back and really hold this today, maybe something to watch, but I'd be a little bit careful into this high. Look how aggressive that high was. Look at how aggressive the sell-off was off this high right here. So a little bit of caution longing Amazon into that 178. Let's go to Meta. Man, I'm sort of interested in this short on Meta. I'm not going to lie, guys. This sort of looks like a head and shoulder to me. This sort of looks like a bear flag to me on Meta. The only thing that scares me out of this short right now is this daily 20 SMA. But I am very interested to see if I can set up shorts around this 505. 505, 505, 505. It sort of looks like a fake little push to the upside back into this 505 supply, which could result in a move lower into channel lows. That's sort of my mindset right here on Meta, but the only thing that scares me out of this trade is this daily 20. I really like how this is looking for short side, but I want an entry closer to 505. I think this is a little bit too extended of an entry because Meta could pop back into the 505, and at that point you're down $10 a share, and that's just a little bit too much drawdown. So if I can see some kind of a pop today on Meta and I can start to see some fails at 505 again, that's where I'd want to set up that short entry, because then you have a good risk reward. You're playing it off a very key supply, and you could get this sort of failed move, this failure of the upside, failure on the uptrend here, back into this 20. But man, is that daily 20 just something you got to be aware of. Netflix, very interesting on Netflix. We've talked about Netflix over the last few weeks. We've talked about the pullback structure, right? It's still structuring higher very clearly. This is a structure. Here's structure, and you can just see it's been sort of maintaining these structure points. 20 SMA hold this week is very solid. You're above the 616 level today, which is very solid as well. You need to hold above 616. You have to hold above 616. If you do, you might be able to catch along here, right? It could be 615, but I sort of like 616 personally. It could be 615, 615, 615, right? You can see previous lows, previous highs. If Netflix can hold above this today, like really defend it, you could get that next push into the 625. But you really need to hold this 615 today. You really need to hold that. We're running out of time. Coinbase. Guys, I would watch Coinbase at 240, please. Please. This could be very interesting. Watch this 240 very closely. This is either a very interesting next long opportunity, or this is equally a very interesting short opportunity back into that 212 and 20 SMA. All eyes on 240 for me on Coinbase. That's a big level to watch there for me. Let's go to, what did we miss? We missed SMCI, 1175. What else did we miss? Google. Google was a really nice hold above this 140.6. We talked about that 140.6. Let's zoom out for a second. Actually, let's go to the hourly chart. You can see right here. See this? 140.6, 140.6. Look at that hold above yesterday. So I would watch Google I got to turn this green now. I would look for Google to maintain above that previous high, right? Look at this. See that? See that? See that? Look at how it held yesterday. Watch that 140.6 on Google. Costco's rejecting the daily 20. Watch the daily 20 on Costco. That's what you need to be watching. TSM, it's in a channel. Channel on TSM, wait for one of the sides to break. Either under 140 or over 147, right? This is a supply high and a demand low. Very clear channel right now on TSM between those levels. All right, guys, I got to run. Let's go to the NASDAQ real quick. So NASDAQ under 18.4. I would be careful long on NASDAQ over 18.4. We have 2,200 people here. You guys are asking for tickers, and we're not even at 1,000 likes. Unbelievable. ES coming off demand or coming off that all-time high supply. Watch 52.35. That would be the level to watch. 52.35 and 5.16 on the SPY. All right. If you guys could, press that like button. If you could, subscribe to the channel. We do this every single morning starting at 8 a.m. Hopefully the setups and some of these technicals help you guys today. If they do, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Here's some ads for you. Enjoy your ads, and I will see you guys I will potentially see you guys tomorrow. I will be traveling. I might be able to do it. Might be able to do a mobile stream. If so, keep on the lookout. If not, just know that I am traveling and may not be able to make it. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys potentially tomorrow. Peace out.